You're listening to the Pourover podcast of Marcus Pointe Baptist Church. Marcus Pointe exists to connect people to God, to one another, and to a lost world. We hope through this podcast you are strengthened in your faith, challenged to walk closer to Him, and find encouragement and hope in Jesus. As much as we want to do that, this podcast should not supplement your commitment to the local church. If you don't have a local church and are in the Pensacola area, we would love for you to come and join us. You can find more information at pensacolachurch.org. If you like this podcast, share it on social media and with others so that they can learn and grow too.
Happy 1 year to us. It is episode 52, which means we have been at this for a whole year now. Preston, how are we feeling today?
Feeling good.
On our anniversary.
Yeah,
that sounds weird to say, but you know what I mean.
Dude, I'm so happy.
I know, dude.
Like,
it's really crazy that it's been a year of the podcast.
I know. I just remember those first three. They were so awkward. And I'm sure our listeners didn't think so, but like I don't know. I definitely was feeling the pressure, being on recording. But
it definitely was different. And then we weren't even in like the studio that we're in now.
Right. Yeah.
Just so many different things now. So it's really crazy to see how far we've come. And man, 52 episods.
Yeah.
And man, it's awesome. It's awesome. And so we actually have a way that we're celebrating today.
Yeah.
We actually have a coffee that we're gonna try, and it is called a Mocha Cola.
Yep.
Mocha Cola. So we're gonna try the Mocha Cola now. Preston, what is the Mocha Cola again?
Great question.
We don't really know.
I mean, it's very visual. So when I got it, the cola was definitely like up to here, so it's mixed in since I've brought it.
So there is Coke, like Coca-Cola in this.
Legitimate Coke in there. And I don't know, the lady said like 5 different ingredients.
Okay.
And anyway.
You want to try it first?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. That didn't look too promising.
That's fantastic.
You like it?
I love it.
So it's Coke with like mocha, basically.
Yeah.
All
There's
right.
some melts in there.
All right, let me try
like
this.
Nutmeg, maybe?
All right, let me try this.
Yeah, I already know what he's going to say.
Oh.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You mixed it all the way through. That may have not been the right way to do it.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, yours looks like a milkshake now.
Yeah, that is disgusting. It tastes like dirt.
It's definitely darker. But so, like in the early thousands.
Oh, gosh.
Really? That bad?
It's that bad. It's that bad. Go ahead. Go.
In the early thousands, Coke had come out with something called Coke Black. So it was black coffee in Coke. And it was all the rage for like a few months. And then they discontinued it. I guess they didn't sell them.
Yeah, probably everybody thought the same thing that I thought.
I
Nasty.
thought it was really creative and different. But I don't know. Coffee is not always my everyday go-to. So when I try coffee, I guess I'm a little bit more.
I don't know.
I don't have a lot to compare to.
Yeah.
Because I don't drink it every day.
Yeah. Ooh, that was
Really?
that was nasty.
I don't know.
That's
fine.
Have you had any coffee besides this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I had some black coffee already this morning, so
Yeah.
I'm good on my coffee. I'm gonna leave that over there. That can just stay.
I won't
stay over
lie.
there.
The
I've got
aftertaste
water
is
with
not
me.
my favorite. There's something in there that's not the best aftertaste. I wish it was just more like a fresh Coke aftertaste. And for all I know, once I get past like this cola area, it might
Yeah,
start
you're just
getting
drinking
really
Coke. That's the
No,
thing. Yeah,
I'm not.
Mix it up.
No, I'm not. No, heck no. I mean, they gave it to me half Coke and half this, so I mean, there was no instruction to mix it up. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, well, it was nasty mixed up. So anyway, if you're interested,
Did somebody suggest that?
no, actually, my dad was in town, and we went by this local coffee shop, ordered it because he was like, "Oh, that sounds good," and then he tried it. And my dad, if he orders anything,
Yeah.
he finishes it. Like he's
Ooh.
one of those guys. Like he did not finish his Mocha Cola. He was like, "This is so bad that I'm not finishing it." Like my dad's literally like, he'll drink something and go, ooh, that's terrible, and like finish it.
Yeah.
The Mocha Cola to him was so bad that he was like, yeah, no, I'm not finishing this.
It's a leap. No way would
definitely.
I order this just on my own, but just as like a creative venture, like why not?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I probably won't finish it either. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
okay.
done. I took one sip. I'm good.
I would give it a 3 out of 5. Like,
Yeah.
it's not the nastiest thing. That pistachio thing was like drinking battery
Didn't you get
acid.
confronted by the person who recommended it to us?
Did I?
She said you got the wrong thing.
She said, yeah. Long
Anyway,
story, but
anyway.
no need.
But anyway, yeah. So for me, that's a 2.
That's a 2.
2 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I got my water with me
What's
today.
a 1? Have you
ever had like? Well, I don't know if they have anything equivalent to this, but have you ever been to like the Coke Museum in Atlanta and had like Beverly?
Yeah.
That would be like a 1. That'd be that's just nasty, like undrinkable. This I could like force myself to drink it if I like had to, but
Now, I'm starting to see what you mean. Like the aftertaste is getting worse. I don't know what they should have just put Coke in it.
It's like just a Coke,
a little bit, you know?
just a little bit
They
of
went
coffee.
a little bit too hard.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump in today to our Fill It Up segment. And today we're getting ready to get back to the good old Florida man.
I love Florida.
Florida man. It's a staple in this podcast. We're going to look at Easter Florida man. And
oh man,
we typed in Florida man Easter, and there is only one story.
This is Florida man history being made here, because let me just reiterate, because there might be a lot of listeners who don't understand the Florida man phenomenon.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I think it started out on Facebook or something to where it said, hey, type in your birthday and type in Florida man next to it, and whatever comes up in Google, like that's your Florida man. It's like for others, it's your spirit animal or your zodiac. It's like, what's your Florida man? And there's going to be multiple articles on your birthday.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single day, Florida has crime. I mean, in wild,
ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous crimes. And I'm sure we're not the only state, but Florida's probably up there. But never before have we typed in something and the whole feed is dedicated to one Florida man. This guy has taken up all of Google, SEO. Like he's figured it out.
It's crazy. Like literally, we scrolled like everywhere, and it's this one guy.
One dude.
Typed in Florida man Easter, and it's this one guy.
Antoine McDonald.
Yeah,
is his name.
Antoine McDonald. This is the story. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
At first, it's not going to sound crazy, but then like the farther you get down. So this guy was known as the Orlando Easter Bunny. Like he said, Google. He told, like when he's getting arrested, he told them to Google it. So I actually am going to Google this and just see what this. Oh, yeah, it's just. Oh, dude, there's videos of him like punching some dude in an Easter Bunny costume. Oh, my goodness. Dude, he's in an Easter Bunny costume, and you can just see him like this, get ready to punch somebody. Oh, my gosh.
He's a monster.
But basically what happens is he's dressed as the Easter Bunny, and apparently something was happening, and he jumped. These articles say he hopped to the defense of a woman and started throwing punches during a brawl in Orlando. And dude, and so he basically is in this Easter Bunny just like throwing punches. Where is that one article? I need to find it.
Which
it says, oh man, let me find it. It says, instead of delivering chocolates and Easter baskets, the Easter Bunny delivers punches and haymakers. Like, dude. But the better part of this is, like, he comes to the defense of this woman, and everybody's like, wow, what a hero. Like, he comes to the defense, and then they find out that he's attached to several other, like, he's basically being, like, the police are trying to find him because he's been stealing stuff from people's cars and all kinds of other stuff.
Like that Hatchet guy that got that whole documentary on Netflix. Do you know what I'm talking about? He was the guy who attacked this guy defending a woman supposedly, but he like hit him with a hatchet.
Oh
And
gosh.
like he was this local hero. He goes on a talk show, man. He goes on Jimmy Kimmel, and like he gets all this notoriety, but he's insane. Like he's a drug addict, he's homeless, and they start to like figure out like this guy is not a hero, and it's a pretty wild story. But this sounds so much like that. Netflix needs to grab Antoine McDonald and make a Easter Bunny
Dude,
documentary.
I'm
or
just
something.
looking at some of these. Oh, dude, apparently a couple years later, he flees a hit and run.
Yeah,
Florida man dressed as Easter Bunny flees hit and run.
hopping away.
Yeah, it's like, man in Easter Bunny suit hops into viral fame.
This is worthwhile entertainment for our listeners to go look into this.
Okay,
because
I'm gonna.
if you just want to
I just want to see this.
cackle over something.
wanna
Like,
see this
I mean,
video.
the images alone are
Let me turn this phone.
hilarious. But I mean, yeah, like this one right here. I mean,
That
standing
picture.
over-
That
you
picture.
probably can't see it, but I mean, he is like tearing. He is like they're tearing it up.
was getting
Like
him.
hovering
Oh
over
my
this poor
gosh.
person.
I'm trying to see if I can find the video. Right here.
And it's a good costume. Like it's
Oh,
a
dude,
high dollar
it's like a
costume.
legit. He doesn't look like he just has like a
Professional.
t-shirt on or something. He looks like he legit spent a bunch of money to buy this costume. Let me see this video. Oh, dude. Oh my. Yup.
Yeah.
You have to go look this video
into
up.
this. One of these days, we'll get videos embedded soon or
Bro.
something. Because
Bro, so it looked like this guy was trying to steal something from this woman. Dude, he's just like straddling the dude, just like, and it's like this Easter Bunny costume. Oh my, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Love it.
Anyway, yeah, that's great. So watch out for the Easter bunnies out
Yeah.
there over the the holidays. Golly.
That's unique
Um,
for sure.
Anyway, wow. Well, that does it for our Fill It Up segment today.
Yeah.
We're ready to roll to our Drink It In segment. Oh man, and that is our segment where we're going to spend most of our time and kind of dive in. Today we're talking about personalities of the Bible. We've
Yeah.
kind of been walking through this.
Part 3, right?
Part 3, yeah. So we
we've
kind
gone
of
through a
covered
good
the
bit.
last 2 times. We've covered some Old Testament figures, and today we're going to kind of move into the New Testament and talk about some figures. But next week we're going to finish the series off. We're going to look at the 12 disciples. Now
Yeah.
we may not be able to. We'll name all of them, but we'll look at a few of them and kind of see their personalities, at least from what we can guess.
Yeah. And just to reiterate,
yep.
so I am an ESTJ, ESFJ, so that's extroverted.
And I am
sensing,
an
feeling, judging.
I am an INTJ, I believe it is.
I had ISTJ.
ISTJ, that's right. ISTJ, that's right.
Which is introverted, sensing, thinking, judging.
Yeah, but we probably need to remind people. So basically, the personality exam, if you will, that we're using is
It's 16personalities.com
Yeah, you
or
can-
something like that.
you can check out yours, at 16 personalities, the number 16personalities.com. But basically, it's called the Myers-Briggs or Myers-Briggs or something like that.
Yeah.
But basically, your personality they give you is 4 letters. So you're either an I or an E, introverted or extroverted. You're either an N or an S, which is intuitive or sensing. You're either F or a T, feeling or thinking. And you're either a J or a P, perceiving or judging. And so if you want to know a little more about that, like we talk about that in our part 1, kind of go into a little detail of what each of those mean. And we'll kind of talk about them a little bit as we go through these characters. But today we're going to look at Martha, John the Baptist, and Herod. Martha, John the Baptist, and Herod.
Solid.
Herod is our villain of the week, but we'll get to him last. So let's start off with Martha. Martha. So for Martha, we have Martha as an ESFJ. She is extroverted, she is sensing, she is feeling, and she is judging. One of the biggest things about Martha is the story of Mary and Martha, and it was Martha that was um, working in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was. I don't know why I'm blanking on that story, but yeah, Martha was.
It's in Luke 10.
Yeah, Martha was working. Jesus was in their home. Martha was working, cooking, doing all that kind of stuff, and then Mary was just sitting at Jesus's feet. And Martha kind of scolds Mary for not helping, and Jesus basically was like, hold on a second. You got the passage
Yeah.
there? Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
It's in Luke 10:38. And it says, "Now as they were traveling along, he entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister called Mary who was seated at the Lord's feet, listening to his word. But Martha was distracted with all their preparations. She came up to him and said, 'Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the serving alone? Then tell her to help me.' But the Lord answered and said to her, 'Martha, Martha, you are worried and bothered about so many things, but only one thing is necessary, for Mary has chosen the good part, which shall not be taken away from her.'"
Yeah. So I definitely think that in the story, which there's more to Martha than just that story, but
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best. Like we can see their personalities a little bit. I would definitely say Martha is an F, like it says, like feeling, like she's kind of going off of what she feels. Like even in that moment, she's just kind of like, I feel like she should be helping me.
Yeah.
Like can you tell her? So that's kind of what I feel. Extroverted, I don't know. I guess she's making.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell from
I
that.
would think so. Yeah.
Sensing.
She's the one who invited him into the home.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Sensing, I would probably say so because she's more focused on like what's happening in the moment. So
right.
that's why she's so distracted. She's not really intuitive and thinking, beyond just the present moment. And then judging or perceiving. I don't know. I guess I agree with that.
Yeah, this is my personality type.
Yeah.
And so I've always heard that this personality type in particular, gets very distracted often and tends to worry about things that don't matter as much.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
I see very, very solid truth in this.
Yeah, it says in the description that it gave, she's often described as practical, organized, values tradition and social norms. Her desire to serve and care for others, as seen in her hosting of Jesus in her home, also aligns with typical traits of an ESFJ. But she also has a tendency to become stressed, overwhelmed by chaos and demands of situations surrounding her. And she showed her frustration in this situation. And it also suggests concerns for physical and practical side of her life. So anyway, they say for the most part she's pretty solid ESFJ.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah, I think it's good.
feel
It's
like
a good assessment.
feel like I'd probably agree with that. So you're an ESFJ. So
Yeah.
you and Martha are kind of similar in your personalities. Cool. All right, let's go to John the Baptist.
Oh, yeah.
This
Oh,
one
yeah.
is this one's
There's going to be some disagreement on this one, I
yeah,
think.
yeah. John the Baptist has got we see a lot of him in the Bible, and obviously Jesus speaks so highly of John the Baptist.
Mhm.
And so yeah, there may be some disagreement here. So John the Baptist, did you want to Okay, never mind. I got it. John the Baptist is an INFJ. INFJ. So, Preston, is there any part of that you feel like you might disagree with? INFJ. So,
The introvert is immediate yes. I mean,
yeah, I would agree.
so
I would agree.
he was in Essene, so that's not Pharisee or Sadducee. Essenes were separate from society, and that's why they lived in the wilderness. Now, when I say Essene, I say he had relations with the Essenes. He really might have even been apart from them. It's not totally confirmed that he was an Essene in history, but he was definitely called to be a messenger, but one to come out of the wilderness. So it's almost like by prophecy and by appointment, he is to be an introvert.
Yeah,
to come out of
he
hiding.
He definitely was. I mean, he lived in the wilderness. He ate, locusts and they just like he was kind of an outsider, tended to himself. Except I think probably his personality introverted, but obviously he had followers and disciples and people that he was with. But still, I do think probably overall he was probably definitely an introvert,
Yeah.
which is interesting when you think about all that he proclaimed and did, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
But if you look at like a lot of the prophets that we see, not that John the Baptist was necessarily like a prophet like the prophets of the Old Testament, he was a little different, but he is laying the foundation or
Right.
laying the groundwork or carving the path, I guess, if you will, for Jesus to come. And so he does kind of function in that manner. All of them are introverts, almost.
Yeah.
All of them are introverts.
Yeah.
So that kind of is a familiar theme. What about feeling? Feeling. How do you feel about that one?
It's hard to nail that one down. That's where I'm like, I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
It's hard to baptize Jesus without feeling something. So,
Yeah.
But so I see that one as like a cheat because
Yeah.
of any human being.
I think
was
the
in that
feeling's probably
scenario.
more about like how do you make decisions or how do you
Yeah, I just don't
know.
see it. I don't see a lot of evidence in the
feeling?
scripture of him being
Oh,
a
just-
feely
yeah.
person.
That's what I feel like he probably is more thinking.
I would think so.
That's what I think he's more. I don't know.
He was a solid delegator because he had followers of his own. When he was in prison before
Yep.
he was killed,
Yep.
he had followers going and seeing what Jesus was doing.
Yeah, and asking him like, "Hey, should we
Yeah.
follow you or should we look for someone else?"
Right. And so I think that he was more of a thinker personally.
That's probably what I would think. So
Yeah.
I would probably agree with the N and the J.
Yeah.
Would-
So the INTJ is, I think, where we land with John the
Yeah,
Baptist.
and I don't remember what was I again. I was ISTJ.
So I is introvert, N is intuitive, T is thinking, and then J judging.
I think I was ISTJ. Yeah.
you
So
are. Yeah, you're
yeah,
ISTJ.
yeah. So he would be an INTJ.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think so.
That's probably what I would agree. Because intuitive, like he does think kind of he obviously has to think kind of futuristic, and then judging. I mean, yeah, like that.
Little
that
bit.
one's pretty clear.
A little bit.
It kind of gives the
Called to judge.
description for him. It says INFJs are known for their strong sense of morality, introspective nature, and desire for social justice. Let's see. They're known for being intense, idealistic, deeply focused on their belief, unwavering commitment to his message, and his willingness to endure persecution from religious authorities is kind of what these traits would embody. So they said INFJ. So anyway, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I would probably say, and I would probably agree with you, probably INTJ would be my thought.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a good one. That's a good one. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Herod.
Yay.
Yeah. Woo. This great guy. Herod.
So exciting.
Herod the Great. Yeah. Wow. What a name. So Herod the Great they have as an ESTJ.
Yes.
ESTJ. Extroverted, sensing, thinking, judging. All right. And I would probably definitely agree with the extroverted part. He's assertive, outgoing. He kind of is in the front. I mean, literally, he calls himself Herod the Great. Like I don't know. To me, that's an extrovert.
Do you feel like extroverts have more of a lean to be self-conscious than introverts would be? That's a tough question. It just seems to me like a lot of extroverts, especially the characters we talk about, tend to have that. And so,
dude, somebody's out here outside our door vacuuming while we're recording this
just coming out
podcast.
of
So,
nowhere.
yeah.
Wow, I love it.
That's why we got to shut the door. That's
Yeah,
so funny.
funny.
Anyway, that's funny. Preston's face.
I just couldn't. I couldn't.
Oh, that's good.
Let's read the Bible.
Yeah. Let's learn about Herod.
Matthew 2, verse 16 says, then when Herod saw that he had been tricked. Yeah. Let's
Hold
you,
on one
you
second.
want to go let them know really quick. This is as candid as recording a podcast gets. And so we just want to thank Jacob for telling. By the way, our maintenance, we love all
Dude,
of our maintenance
they're awesome.
workers. They are
They
amazing.
are
They
awesome.
Are always after.
And we're recording this on Easter week, so they're trying to get everything ready. We love our.
Yeah.
They're awesome. So yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so it says, then when Herod saw that he had been tricked by the Magi, he became very enraged, sent and slew all the male children who were in Bethlehem and all of its vicinity from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had determined for the Magi. And so a lot of times when we read about Herod, Herod is being tricked by all different kinds of people. And the personality that we get from him is ESTJ. And I sense a wrong T here. I think it's feeling.
I think I'd probably agree
I
with
think
that.
he's more of a feeling kind of ruler. Because for him to be so enraged and not really have a grip on things, right? And I see some self-consciousness too, because the Magi were not people from the country. They were men from the East who were also considered in history to be kingmakers. So for them to venture into his country would have been an intimidating fact. He would have seen, oh, the role of these men is to pursue things of royalty and importance. So for them to subside me and go see Jesus, I'm losing control over the authority that I have over the people and their rapport. So that it makes sense why he would be so enraged. Now, the viciousness of sending out for all 2 and under males to be murdered, that's just icing on the cake when it comes to how evil of a man he was. But it does match into the severity of some of these aspects.
So I think the reason that they have him as a T is because they say he's like really rigid and structured and organized and like that. But I agree with you. Like the way he makes decisions is too much feeling. Like
Right.
the fear that he felt because he was like, I might lose my kingdom. Or
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it Herod? I could be completely wrong with this. Like, wasn't it Herod that had his own kid killed? Was that Herod?
Maybe I don't know if it's this one
it might-
because there's multiple.
Yeah,
Herods,
right. I may not have even should open that box, but I know there was like somewhere along the lines of history of Herod that they had their. I'm pretty sure. I feel like it was this Herod, but I could be wrong. That had like his own kid killed because he was trying to take his throne from him, like stuff like that. So it's very much feeling like it's selfishness, it's wanting control, it's.
I can't remember what the personality of Pharaoh was, but I feel like Pharaoh lands almost the opposite kind of leader as Herod was. Herod's very emotional and makes brutal decisions on the fly, where Pharaoh was very calculated, and all of his decisions seemed to be a little bit more measured and had a little bit more resilience and fortitude related to it until the very end, where he was distraught and sent, his men to murder the Israelites, and obviously they were all slain in the river.
Hey, check this out. Go to. Oh, never mind. So I just looked it up. Sorry, I was thinking that it might have been a verse, but the Bible doesn't record it. But like some historical documents say that he killed his own sons, 3 of them, because they were threats to his throne.
Goodness. So very narcissistic.
Yeah. So that's why I think feeling like, and some people may think that as thinking because they're like, well, he's thinking logically.
Yeah.
They'll take my throne, so then he makes the decision. But I feel like it's more because some people might be like, well, wouldn't he feel for his sons? But I think he was so self-absorbed, he felt only for himself.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why I would say enough.
That's well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the obsession level of something that they take a value.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Awesome. So ESFJ. So just so you guys know, I know some of you are Enneagram.
ESTJ for Herod.
But we changed it. We changed it to ESFJ.
Sorry, I'm just reading.
No, you're good. So John the Baptist, Martha, if you do Enneagram, this is what at least the site that we're pulling this from says, that Martha is a 1-wing 2. I don't know if I agree with that. We're not going to get into the Enneagram because we haven't been doing that, but don't know how I feel about that because then it says John the Baptist is also a 1-wing 2. I don't know. I think they're different in those regards. But then it says Herod is an 8-wing 7. So if you're an Enneagram out there and you like that kind of stuff over the 16 personalities, I know that's maybe a little more familiar. It has John the Baptist 1-wing 2, Martha 1-wing 2, and Herod 8-wing 7. So anyway, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you can have that as well. So anyway, that does it today for our Drink It In. Martha, John the Baptist, and Herod. And next week we'll be going through the disciples. So make sure you come and join us for that. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pour it out. This is one of our favorite segments each week where we have 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute on a timer.
That's awesome.
To just brain dump. It doesn't have to be anything necessarily spiritual. Doesn't have to do anything with what we talked about on the podcast. It's just whatever's on our mind. 1 minute on the timer. No interruptions. Just let it go. So I'm actually ready this week.
Okay.
So I can go ahead and do it. I actually, while I'm saying that, I'm like, I know what I'm going to talk about. So, all right. You ready?
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Pour it out.
All right. So I had a goal this year to read 15 books for the whole year. I am currently on books number 10 and 11 that I'm reading. So I am just reading a lot faster than normal. But one of the interesting things that I have started that has really helped me like read a little more is I started sprinkling in like a little fiction here or there. And one of the things that I've been hearing as I've talked to other people, so I used to just read nonfiction, like it was either leadership, spiritual books, like theology. It was just like anything to help me grow because I really look at reading as like a way for me to grow and learn. But I had, some people that I talked to said they read fiction every now and again because it helps with their creativity. And it's also kind of fun. If you like the story and you're reading it, you don't have to necessarily sit there and try and soak it all in. So I have found that I love reading fiction, and I will finish fiction books in like 3 days. So anyway, that's my pour it out today. To belabor that point, I would just say if you're out there and you're maybe like struggling, you like want to be a reader, but you're struggling, maybe just try and start and find things you enjoy to read. Because sometimes I think we just punish ourselves. We're like, oh, I hate reading this, but I got to read this or I'm not going to be, grow. And it's like, for me, especially as a speaker and, needing, at times illustrations and things like that, it really helps with creativity to like just read, even if it's like crazy off the wall, like fictional books, to read those. I'm going through some classics right now. I'm going through the Lord of the Rings books, and I finished The Hobbit.
Heavy.
I'm on dude, they're interesting to read, but dude, I mow through them. Like I finished The Hobbit in like 3 or 4 days.
That's different than Lord of the Rings, though, huh?
Yeah,
like Lord of the Rings is much heavier.
I'm on the Fellowship of the Ring #1 right now, which I'm partnering it with. Before all of our listeners out there are probably like, he's just reading fiction books. I'm also reading a book called Progress in the Pulpit at the same time. So take that.
You judgers. We know what personality you are.
Well, I know some people listen to this and going, those books, don't they have magic in them? Anyway. So I'm just
Hoka poka.
I'm just reading them to I'm not reading them to like learn anything from them. I just but anyway. We went there.
We're going to see Jacob pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Yeah.
The rabbit's going to start beating somebody up. This is my Florida man rabbit. I got you on that one.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm like 150 pages through the Fellowship of the Ring. Started anyway. But I do think it's really important. For me at least, it's really important to read, and so I'm excited that I've kind of found my love for it again. But anyway, all right. Preston, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me pull it up. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Pour it out.
Awesome. So this is a total plug. I have a tennis ball machine that I got for like very cheap. A lot of people spend a ton of money on it, but I just got a good deal. But there were some things that were wrong with it as to why I got it so cheap. Dude, I have called this company 3 different times, and the 3 major parts in it, this company has just sent me the parts for free.
Wow.
To fix it. I'm not talking like a $50 molding or something like that. I'm talking like a control panel. I'll call them and I'm like, yeah, it's not doing this or doing this. They're like, yeah, just send it in to us and we'll send you a new one. And I'm like, okay. They know I'm not the original owner of this thing, but they just like cover it all under warranty.
Mm.
And so I've just been really blessed by this company, like, because I play with it like every week now. I bring it out to the courts and it feeds me balls as I hit it. And so, Sports Tutor is the name of the company. But like,
Nice.
if you play tennis or they do a bunch of other sports too. They sell products for all that. They are like the best company, the best customer service I've ever seen. That's all I got.
Nice.
Total plug.
Nice.
Total plug
That's
to
cool.
Sports Tutor.
That's cool. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So there you go. You got a plug for books. You got a plug for tennis equipment.
Yeah.
And you didn't even know you were going to get that. You know?
You
so
didn't.
look at that.
There's a total gift there. Yeah. And so I'm also reading. I've got some books.
Oh yeah.
I've got some books I'm
Preston's...
reading, but I'm going to let you be this, the intellectual.
Dude, that was
today.
funny. A friend of ours, we were at small group, and I had the book out because I was reading it before everybody got there, and I had it sitting down, and Preston was like, "Oh, are you reading, the Lord of the Rings books?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to go through classics. Like, honestly, that's what I'm doing." I was like, I don't necessarily care so much about what they are. I just, if a lot of people over the years have like loved them and deemed them a classic, I like to read them to have my own opinion on them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm a little bit of a nerd too, but another guy at our small groups, he goes, I said, yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd. He said, yeah, you're definitely a nerd if you're reading and said that to me, and like it was a joke. He laughed, but I was like, yeah,
he can roast.
I'm definitely.
We've got a solid roaster in our small group.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah. So anyway, well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in for another week, year one. Thank you guys for being supporters. Thank you guys for hanging with us for this long. If you've been with us from the beginning, if you're new, we're glad to have you, and we can't wait to see what God has for us in the future. And so, episode 52.
Hey,
finished 1 year, on to the next.
It's awesome.
We'll see you guys.